Howdy everyone, this is your LPCSG Training. I'm your Director of Legislation, Fernando Torres, and we're first going to start with the Brown Act. It was enacted in 1953 on the premises of above all serving the public. It holds that meetings should be open to the public so that they can see how decisions are made and they can be a part of decisions. Typically they would discuss with us. The basic guidelines hold that agendas must be made available in advance. Only items in the agenda can be discussed. Meetings can be rarely disclosed or rarely be closed. Secret ballots are never allowed, and interpretation of bills must always favor public access. In general, you can say that the Brown Act holds that you will never hold a meeting in private. Next, we have Robert's Rules, and they are the standard for facilitating discussions and group decision making. The most common ones we use include I move to or I move as such. In order to approve items, you would then follow this up with a second to the motion, or you can also move an agenda to or from the table. There is a big, massive book of Robert's Rules that you can look at and see exactly for some more specific language into dealing with these bills, but in general we just use these three. The majority rules only after the minority has spoken and been heard, and the purpose of Robert's Rules is to make sure all voices are heard and no one is excluded. Also, there is a thing called abstaining. For example, if you can abstain if you think that something would benefit yourself, or if something will benefit others that are an interest to you. So, if you see it in this way, you can choose to abstain. Typically, you'd want to just do not be benefited from it, since it would kind of be hypocritical. But in general, yeah, those are Robert's Rules. Next, we have or bylaws, or the laws of student government. In our bylaws, we have every officer's responsibilities, and it tells you your jobs, exactly what you're supposed to be doing, and it tells you your stipend amount. After you're done reading this, your terms of office basically hold that holding office for any time during a year is counted as one term. If you're voted in spring semester rather than fall semester, that would still be one term, with 3 terms being the maximum for an officer position. Each officer position also has stipends. And if you do not hold your responsibilities, if you're not doing most of your job, then you can be impeached. For example, pertaining attendance, 1 unexcused absence, 2 excused absences, and 3 tardies, or 1 excused absence and 2 tardies hold or premises for impeachment. There are also things called veto power, which our president has, and if something is way too or just a little too much for a president, they can veto it. Next, we have our Constitution. It holds the same language that the bylaws have, but it is our foundational paper that the bylaws are based off of. And just to end this, ending everything, the LPCSG holds the primary responsibility for the leadership and management of the student body in meeting the purpose of responsibility established for it by the Board of Trustees of Chabot and Las Positas Community College District. We have a lot of responsibilities to the school, and in general, try to practice and try to be mindful of how you use specific language and memorize. You don't have to memorize everything, just the most common ones, but try to know how to use this language so that it can facilitate us in our process of passing agenda items and being transparent to the public. Thank you.